So here's the backside, shady side of this chicken coop that's run its course here. They want it removed because actually they had a flyover and had part of their insurance canceled because it said it looks like a roof is caving in, so we're gonna stop insuring you. So they gotta get rid of this, even though it's just a chicken coop. Like, there ain't nobody living in this. Anyway, this looks nice to me, manageable. But the outside makes it look like it's like almost like barn-like, because those planks are like 24-inch wide. Whatever the case, even though they look like worn and whatnot, that's old growth wood to get planks that thick. So, very good. There's a lot of corrugation. Yeah, the roof is missing some places, but aluminum's good. The wood looks great. I guess this side was tar papered. A window. Let's go inside, shall we? She says she hasn't been in here for years. So, spider webs, resources, feeding cans for birds. Again, the wood looks in great condition. Maybe a little warped here and there with checks, but it is solid stuff. And taking it apart and putting it back together again, this ought to be a really nice coop. Actually, get paid for removing it and not have to pay for buying another one to make one. Of course, you wouldn't make it this big, no need to. And that way you can actually design it the way you want and maybe even make 2 coops out of this. And so far, that's the only garbage or debris pile. Having taken the siding off to start with, this is what it looks like graded out, stacked neatly. These pieces are too small for anything really meaningful structurally wise. I suspect this was offcuts from building a bigger barn over yonder. And nevertheless, it's such old wood, it's very checked and somewhat compromised. But as you can see, we're opening this up. Got the long side out, short side, taking it, dismantling it as far as deconstruction goes. Much easier job than constructing. And yeah, now I'm working on this side where it's now not sunny anymore. Taking off the tar paper, which again, no need to use really because it just falls apart in the sun. So don't waste your money on that kind of crap. Doesn't really provide that much extra protection. Cool thing is finding all sorts of old beehives and yellow jacket nests. They're not surviving in this heat, but check this out, what I found. Right? Nice long hive. And check out what they caught. There's a dead lizard that either found its way up here looking for a meal and got more than it bargained for, or the bees carried it up here, using the body to feed their larvae, because they have lots of these little hives here. Yeah. What do you think? Looking cool. All right. Project continues. And as if the bees weren't enough, what do you find amongst wood? Carpenter ants. Carpenter ants. They're panicking right now because I'm disturbing their home. But they're going to find a new one. They always do. Being careful not to freak them out too much, because while these critters, these social beings, are busy trying to recoup, Others are being sent out to assess the situation and find who is responsible for disturbing their home. In which case, try to work a few feet or a couple feet away from them, because once they find you, they're gonna start swarming up you. And though you don't need to run like you do from bees, you don't want these biting you either, because carpenter ants are called carpenter ants for a good reason, because they have mandibles that'll chew wood. Well, alrighty then. Now that all the siding has been removed from the coop, it's time to work on the framing. And here's a decision to make. Do you clean out what's inside first, or just go ahead and take down the frame and then clean up whatever's inside afterwards? Whether or not it's a mess or not, if it's nothing that's going to get severely damaged, which if you take it apart incrementally, just like it was built, and it's called deconstruction, then everything should presumably be fine. Actually, not more of a mess than this. And then you won't have all these doorways to have to navigate through with stuff, because these won't be here anymore. In which case, where to begin? In this case, from the top down. Now that we're at this point in the project, keeping self-organized with landfill, kindling, and potential usable boards for nothing more than like flower beds. Not worth much. There'll be a small looking frame in this lot, because this side also has firewood, some pieces that may or may not be usable. Most of them, of course, are pretty well worn, but let's move on from here. Going up there. So bear with me, you'll see. Well, alrighty then. Nearing the very end. So now the framing's gone. There's just this little feature here where the chickens roosted, and gonna remove what was inside, which obviously I decided not to move. Not necessary. How do you know when to or when not to? Always consider the path of least resistance. That is a very good tenet to live by, and make your life a lot easier. So everything's been de-nailed and graded accordingly to size, shape, and worth. Right on. And after that comes cleanup. And here is the dismantled chicken coop, and it's sorted according to sizes. Boom, 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 boom. Up to the giganticest, and lengths. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Makes it easier to know what you got for what you're gonna do with all this wonderful reclaimed wood. Not bad, huh? Not bad at all. Stickered and can stay here for a long time before it needs to be used, because it ain't gonna get much worse abuse than it already has or will in the future. Bullseye.